Listen, man, I feel the same way just about financial services in general, that advisors who aren't using AI are going to be dinosaurs, and AI is the asteroid that's coming to kill them.
You are tuned into the Only Human podcast, where financial advisors learn how to stay irreplaceable in a world of AI. Only Human explores strategies for advisors to leverage their unique human edge and thrive alongside technology. I'll be back later with some important announcements. Until then, here's your host, behavioral financial advisor, Yohance. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Only Human, brought to you by the Money Script Podcast. It's your host, Yohance Harrison. So happy to be with each and every one of you today. I have a treat. I know I say it all the time, and I have a treat because I do. Today's guest has been on over 1,000 podcasts. So promise you, game is on lock, okay? He's a 3-time author, TEDx speaker, keynote presenter, and for at least 15 years, he's been one of the most trusted coaches in the financial industry. His most recent book that is a favorite of mine, and if you've been listening to the Money Script podcast, you've seen him before. Shut the F up and listen. I've also been a student of his classroom when it comes to podcasting, and it's actually because of him that this podcast exists. He told me, go do the podcast. What do you want to call it? Only Human? Yeah, do that. And go start interviewing some people about AI, because this thing is here, which he's going to share with you in today's episode. It is here. The asteroid is here too, but more on that later. Before we get in, I encourage you, just while the intro is playing, I want you to think about this, or ask yourself this. What would you do if you had 10 additional hours per week? What would you do with that time? How would you spend it? Who would you spend it with? Because we're going to dig into how AI is helping advisors get 10 hours a week on average. I've already talked about how it's worked for me, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. But what would you do if you had 10 hours? What would you do with 5? What could 5 hours do for you? What could it do for your life? What could it do for your relationships? We're going to get into all of that. And of course, we're going to play my favorite game, marry, divorce, and some tech on the side. We'll see you at the end. Matt, I'm really curious. As you know, Only Human, you made a big transition into an AI company. I did not have that on my bingo card at all. But I guess I have to now. So let's start with why. Why did you choose to partner with Zocks?
Well, it was a series of unfortunate events, to be brutally honest. I mean, my wife became paralyzed last fall. I found out the level of care that I would need to have with her as her life partner and as her primary caregiver. And I called my business partner, Kirk Lowe, who I just talked to him this morning. Actually, I love the guy. I called him. I'm bawling. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I can't be your partner anymore. I'm not going to be a good partner. My focus has to be elsewhere. And he was unbelievably supportive. He's like, dude, I totally understand. We were always a family first organization. That's one of the reasons why Kirk and I jived so well. But it was shocking to him. I mean, this was not expected. I didn't expect it either. And so, for the last 20 years, man, I've tried to do my best to be kind and generous in financial services, right? I've always wanted to have advisors have better lives, better practices.
And we thank you for that, Matt. We do.
Well, it seems that it kind of has entered into the psyche that Matt's an okay guy. And, I've been trying to help people for so long. And to be honest, Yohance, it was really difficult for me to ask for help. But I had to. So I made a few phone calls, and those phone calls led to a couple of other phone calls. And I landed with this guy named Drew DiMarino. And Drew's the head of our sales here at Zocks. He knew who I was, which I'm very grateful for, because Proudmouth did a really great job of raising my visibility. I became very influential because of our design program that we had built. And he goes, well, I don't make the decisions, but I'm texting the guy who does. And so within The next morning, I had a text from another executive here. I met with that executive. They're like, well, tell me what you really want to do. And I said, well, according to your website, you're saving advisors 10 hours a week. And I said, so what do they do at that time? And they were like, yep, that's it. That's exactly what we want you to talk about. And so from that first phone call to my signed offer was probably about a week. I felt it immediately. You know me well. I'm a feeling guy. I'll sniff you out if you're not a good person, and I will not hang out with you. But everybody I've met, and this is the fastest growing company I've ever worked with in my entire career. Everybody I've met, they have done such a great job of hiring, that now all of the stuff that I work towards, so being, really influential in financial services, learning how to create amazing content, really trying to impact advisors' lives, I literally just do that. I don't have to manage a company anymore. I'm not worried about bottom lines. I'm not worried about hiring and firing. I'm not worrying about creating another product. They say, hey, Matt, look at this. And I'm like, holy crap, that's really cool. And they're like, all right, well, make some content about that. I'm like, woo. So that's what I do every day.
Oh, man. It's always a joy. Matt, I love you. I do.
I love you too, man.
Listen. Well, first, I am so sorry to hear that your family is going through that tragic change, which I know we're going to talk about later. And I do wish you the best along that journey. And I'll share as it was shared with me when I went through similar changes with my mother. I say one day at a time. It's one moment at a time. Yeah. Just what's important right now, one moment at a time. So wish you the best on that. Thanks. So how, I mean, I hear the connection between the excitement of engaging with advisors, making them feel good, making them not only as an advisor, but also in their lives overall. How did you see that AI and a company like Zocks can do that for advisors? You talked about the time, that 10 hours. And so can you dive into that a little bit more? Yeah.
So I started as a consultant in 2006 with what used to be called Peak, which is now Carson Consulting.
Hey, I know those guys.
Yeah, you do know those guys. The thing that I always heard from advisors was, Matt, I can't ever keep up with the notes, or my follow-up sucks because I'm meeting upon meeting upon meeting, or I'm so afraid I'm going to forget something that was really important that a client said during a meeting. And you know what they did? Because they were literally feverishly taking notes, right? And then, Zoom came along with the Zoom recorder, and then now it's recording their audio and video, which is, from a compliance perspective, just a freaking nightmare. But the other thing was, my tech doesn't talk to each other. And man, I would be seeing, so I used to do, as a consultant, I do on-site consultation. So advisors used to pay me to come out for 2 days that I'd spend in their office. I'd look at all their systems, all their processes, interview all of their teams, look at their systems, look at workflows, look at their client experience, all of that stuff. And even from the minute I walked in the door, why is that painting there? There's a rip in the carpet here. I mean, it was very, very, very deep. It was a 100-point checklist. And their team, they'd have like 1 or 2 full-time team people who they would just sit there and type all day long, this into this system and this into the system. And so when I started, so the 10 hours a week is what hooked me here, right? So I was just like, I can market the hell out of that, because again, I'm so tired of everybody saying they're busy. No, you're not busy. You have terrible time management. Terrible time management. You're prioritizing the wrong stuff, right? And so now, honestly, they don't have an excuse. If you've implemented any semblance of AI, and let me tell you, that 10 hours a week is just our note-taking tool. We're a full-blown AI assistant, dude. We do 30 other things besides just taking good notes. And now advisors can actually truly do the things that advisors should be doing, which is providing better advice and client service. And there is no excuse for that now.
I am not only a podcast host interviewing the title Chief Evangelist. I got the right?
That's correct.
Chief Evangelist for Zocks, but I am also a client. And I've said this multiple times on the show, I am a client of most of the AI tools that are out there for advisors. And advisors that are in leadership capacities, think of them as hiring people at an incredibly great rate. Now you still have to train them. Okay. and retrain them sometimes. But it is at a really great rate. And it's just little things you can just take off your calendar. And I have to pause for a second, Matt, just because you keep mentioning this 10 hours. And every time you bring it up, I selfishly think about myself and the hours I've saved with AI. And I have an announcement to make. And I'm going to try to keep my composure here. I've shared from multiple stages that the time I've saved with you implementing AI, with the hours I got back, starting last August is when I went, I'm in this, I'm adopting it, I'm training it, we're going. I took that time to coach my daughter's soccer team. Okay. I got this. I can make it. The first season, we were 0-7-1.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're the Ladybugs. It's okay. For those that don't know that reference, kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
For those who don't know that reference, I'm sure there's a new one that came out that I haven't seen yet. Kung Fu Soccer or something. One of those. Anyways, this season, my daughter's birthday weekend, we went into those games. We had a doubleheader, went to those games. 0-5. We won the game on Saturday, 4-3. My daughter scored the winning goal. Woo, I'm okay. And we won the game on Sunday, 1-0.
Wow.
There is a team that we practice with on Thursdays. We have half the field. They are the other half the field. They are the next level up. The coach said, hey, can they practice? I was like, yeah, absolutely. First time, 30-minute scrimmage. These girls killed us 8-0. Last night, 21 minutes into the play, into the 30 minutes, the score was still 0-0.
Holy crap.
Okay. Woo. Matt, every day this week, my daughter's asked me to go outside and play soccer with her.
Oh.
Every day. What are you doing with your 10 hours? Or better question, why do you not have the 10 hours?
That really is the best question there. Yeah.
So, whew, I'm grateful for AI, if y'all can't tell.
Yeah.
Now, we also had a painful moment, Matt, and I actually want to get a little coaching from you on this. I was so thrilled that you were our guest this week. We had an employee quiet quit. And the best that we can tell, this employee began checking out in February.
Oof.
Now, the old me would have rushed to post a position on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
Start sending referrals to clients, etc. But then I thought of the quadrants of important, urgent, not important, not urgent. And I realized that I was creating an emergency for myself, which also causes stress, which for me likes to show up in ways like eczema patches on my elbow and my shin. I mean, they showed up the day after the termination. It's like, oh, this is great. But then I opened one of my lovely tools. And since we're name dropping, I know you're here with Zocks, but let's call them out. I'm a Hazel user. Y'all know it. So I went into Hazel and I told Hazel the scenario. And then Hazel started asking me questions. So, what are you thinking? And I said, well, I know I could hire someone, but I'm also wondering how much of her role can you do? And if not you, Zocks, which I'm also subscribed to, Contio, which I also subscribe to, ChatGPT, which I'm subscribed to, kind of. Well, it's down to just me. The rest of the team is off of it because they're all on on Hazel. Yeah, I got the last one there. But help me think through this, and it allowed me to do some brain dumping, and I basically just started saying these are all the things that she does. One tip it gave me was, why don't you have your ADV in privacy policy, which you have to deliver to every client? That was something she was physically doing. Create that as a follow-up task in Calendly. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I could just have,
Oh,
I strictly use Calendly for all meetings.
oh, sure.
Well, then I said, but wait, Calendly doesn't allow me to add a PDF. And then it asked me, your website, who's the host? I told them who the host was. And they said, here's how you can post that document on your website. I don't know anything about building websites.
Sure.
But it had step-by-step of how to post. I dropped the document. I said, oh my, and it created a link.
Mm.
And then I shortened the link.
Mm-hmm.
And now the link is in that email.
Mm.
That's something that probably we get, we'll call it 5 or so new clients every month.
Yep.
That task probably took her at least 4 to 5 minutes.
Oh, sure. Per one.
That's 25 minutes.
Yep.
Multiply it by 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reasonable 6 hours.
Yeah.
Now, it's not the 40 hours to replace everything that person was doing. But you know what would have made me more excited, Matt? And this is kind of the key to Only Human, is that I'm looking for employees that can figure that out. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. AI is not here to necessarily replace humans. There will be a replacement of humans that know how to use AI for the ones that don't or won't.
Listen, man, I feel the same way just about financial services in general, that advisors who aren't using AI are going to be dinosaurs, and AI is the asteroid that's coming to kill them. And it's not that they're implementing it in every aspect of their practice. What it is
Matt, they got really dark.
It's meant to be a little bit combative there. But if they're not using it, right? I'm just going to digress and tell you a very, very quick story. So you bring out a lot of new clients a month, right? Because 5 is a lot on the grand scheme of things, because you can, right? And your service model supports all of that and everything. So we had an advisor, and she was up against 2 other advisors. She was the last interview that they were interviewing advisors to see which one they were going to go with. And so she had a great meeting with them. She was using our AI assistant tool in the background. When she got back to her desk, the summary was done, a follow-up email was done, and the tasks were done. So she made some minor modifications to the email. Of
course. Yeah.
Sent the email. It said, thank you very much for meeting. Here are the highlights of the meeting. Here are the things that I'm planning on doing. And here are the things that you need to do, if you decide to become a client. So that email was in that couple's inbox before they even got home from the meeting. So they opened up the email and they called her immediately. And they're like, what? How did you do this? We've met with other advisors. They were weeks ago and we still haven't heard back from them. And her response was, I use technology so that I can provide better service for all of my clients and prospects. And she won the business. And Yohance, it's like we all now have a super suit that's available to us. And I hate that it's called,
where's my super suit?
Where's my super suit? Yeah.
That, that's going to be clipped in there.
I thank you for that. Cause I've said that on a couple of other shows and it just blew over people's heads because they never pay attention to the Incredibles. But here's the thing. We have access to the biggest brain that's ever existed in humanity, right? We do. We all have that now, right? At the drop of a hat, right? But very few people are using it, right? And I hate that they're calling it artificial intelligence. It should have been called augmented intelligence, because that's what it does for us. It augments us. It makes us smarter, stronger, faster, better. That's what it does. That's what a tool is supposed to do. It's never going to replace what you do face to face, belly to belly, hugging people when somebody passes, celebrating with somebody when they get that bonus or when they finally get to retire. All of those wonderful things that you do, some of them are emotionally very powerful. Some of them are emotionally draining, but that is something that AI can't do, won't do, because we are human beings. We need to be around human beings, and that is never going to go away, right? You being able to read micro expressions either across the table from somebody or on the camera is something AI is terrible at, and I can't imagine it getting any better.
Oh my goodness, Matt, I had a moment this week talking about connecting. So I'm a behavioral financial advisor, so I believe in going through the values exercise with my clients. Now, in the essence of time, I will send the values exercise to clients and have them do it on their own.
Sure.
But every now and then they don't get it done. And I have a rule. If you come to class without homework done, we'll do homework in class.
Yeah.
This week I did a values exercise that made me want to change how I send it out, because especially for couples, watching the micro expressions as they're trying to determine their values. And because typically on Zoom, if they're both on the couch, one is usually leaned in and the other one's back. And you can watch the facial expressions of the one that's back, not running the meeting, so to speak, when the person that's running it said something they didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
Which they can't see because they're engaged with me and they're looking at me as they're talking to me, which they would. They're probably not looking at themselves. That's awkward. It is. I mean, Matt, you and I know how to do that because we just talk to the camera. We just talk to ourselves all day. But most clients aren't engaging to that level. And for me to have the moment to say, wait a minute, what was that right there? And then to see her turn inward to him. And then they have this whisper conversation and then come back and say, actually, I think that is a value that we want to keep on the table. Like, I would have never seen it. And then it turned out to be the one value that, as I'm talking about the goals later, I was able to go back to that value. AI made that possible for me, or excuse me, well, augmented intelligence make that possible because I'm not with my head down taking notes.
Fully present.
I'm looking at them fully engaged. I now do meetings with my clients with the Zoom camera full screen because I don't need the distractions of anything. I mean, on the other screen, if I need the stuff that we need to talk about in that meeting pulled up is there, but the screen that's right here in front of me, it is my clients as if they're in the room. Well, speaking of which, I was really disappointed that Meta threw away the whole metaverse thing. I thought that I'd be able to have virtual meetings with clients with kind of like half body that Mark Zuckerberg had. I kind of envisioned that was like, oh, that's the future, but now it's not. So.
Yeah, we could do an entire show on some of those technology things that like I bought the first so I travel a lot, as you know. And so I have these glasses. They're basically I can watch movies from my phone, and it's like I have a 100-inch television right in front of me. And so I just sit there and I'm sitting there with these sunglasses on and I'm like watching a Marvel film or something. Right. And so that augmented reality, right, to their AR glasses, I really thought that that's actually what Meta was going to build into their glassy things so that I could actually interact with the world around me. But the battery life is terrible. Nobody wants the cameras. Everybody's afraid of the camera that's there. I really think so. You and I are early adopters, right? We both have a thing for technology, and that's why you have 20 different AIs that you're subscribed to. But, you know, it's one of those things where we love that because we know that it is going to augment us. And I am always on a constant journey to become a better human being. And if I can use technology to be a better human being, I'm going to use technology to be a better human being. If I can use my time, right? So I believe in something that I talk about often is called the trade-off law, which basically the underpinning of that is your life coach has been lying to you, because everybody says that you can just manifest your way into a whole bunch, and that's not how the universe works. You can't give nothing and get everything. Okay. And so there's only 5 things in the world that you can get rid of: time, talents, treasures, relationships, and control. Okay. So those are the 5 things. There's only one of those, Yohance, you can't make more of, which is time. I can have better relationships. I can have better talents. I can get smarter, stronger, faster, better. I can go ahead and have more money, right? And I can go ahead and manage my issues with control. But the one thing that you can't have more of is time. And so when I landed here and I'm sitting upstairs eating dinner with my wife, and I brought the trade-off law of, for everything you want in life, you have to be willing to give up something proportioned to that want. And she looked at me and she goes, "I've heard you say that for 15 years. And I was like, well, first I didn't realize I said it that much. But my wife is a biologist. She's a scientist by training, by massive levels of education. And she's like, "Matt, that's how everything biologically, chemically, environmentally, geologically, astronomically works, is you have to put something in and then something happens and then you get something out." And I believe that technology can really assist with that, to be able to give us the chance to, and in my situation very specifically, I want advisors to have a better practice, 1,000,000%. I want you to make more money. I want you to feel more successful. But if your life sucks, if why don't you take some of those 10 hours and do exactly what you're being a better father? That's amazing, dude. That's something you can never, that'll never be quantified with any ROI in any way, shape, or form. Be a better husband, be a better wife. I don't know, maybe work on yourself psychologically and deal with some of those freaking issues that you've been telling yourself that you don't have to deal with by seeing a therapist. Work on yourself spiritually. Take time, pray, meditate, get commune with whatever you need to
start a new hobby, guitar, knitting, golf, whatever.
I mean, it is okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I just don't understand why there's resistance.
Well, great segue. Some resist because it doesn't quite do what I needed to do. Because, this is a world of independent advisors, and you'll have one AI that will talk to this, and this, but it won't talk to that. You have another one that talks to that, and that, but it won't talk to this. And that can sometimes, again, for us as the trailblazers, the folks, what's the group of people that are waiting to see it fail, or waiting to see us fail, to either say, oh, I told you so, or just wait. Oh, I'm waiting until I need this, the Mercury to be here and Jupiter over here, and my chakras aligned, and then I'm going to do it. And I'll call out Zocks since you're here. By the way, Matt's not ready for this. It's coming. I upgraded. I said, I need the big package because it said it could do something that nothing else could do. And I was intrigued. It said, take your information, dump it into our reader, and we will put that information in eMoney for you. I said, what?
Hell yeah, it does. Hell yeah.
They said, would you like the beta? I said, I'll have the alpha, the beta, the omega, and the zeta. Send it. We're going Greek here.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it said, hey, there's going to be a couple bugs. I said, no problem. Now, I will, and it worked really well for me to do one thing. I also tested Right Capital because I was getting frustrated with eMoney. And of course, while I'm testing it, eMoney does this massive upgrade. I'm like, and they gave me 30% of what I was asking for, which is good for me. I was like, hey, you got a third of them? Cool. But I was like, in the meantime, I was like, let me see what Right Capital could do. Right Capital wasn't for me. It was very easy to download all of that client's data from Right Capital and drop it into eMoney.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. It's saying I would A+, 5 stars. Let's go. However, when I got a new client, because sometimes we have clients that don't want to connect their stuff to everything. We just met. I get it. Can I just give you statements? Of course you can. That's how I used to do it in the old days. And I said, oh, Zocks is solved for this.
Yeah, we have.
Kind of.
Okay.
Unless it's been updated in the last, I'll give you 30 days, which I'm still a member, so I haven't seen the email. I'm going to pick on Merrill Lynch. Client gives me a Merrill Lynch statement. It's an IRA.
Okay.
It has $1 million in it. I can only do one upload at a time, which is fair. I respect that.
Right.
I put in my one Merrill Lynch upload. It puts it in eMoney. It's great. Client says, actually, I have another Merrill Lynch IRA as well. I don't know why they're separate. They just are. It's worth $500,000.
Okay.
Great. If I upload it to Zocks, when it takes it to eMoney, it replaces the original Merrill Lynch.
Ah, yeah.
And I know why.
Okay.
It was easy to figure out is because probably for compliance reasons, it's skipping the account number. So it doesn't recognize that this is a new statement. So the solve to that is I'd have to take all the statements, put them through another AI tool, which you may want to think about the risk levels of that using a ChatGPT or whatever. If you have a walled garden, maybe it makes sense and you're comfortable with those security relationships.
Sure.
But you'd have to dump it in there, have them make you a template, and then take that template, put it in Zocks, and then it'll go to eMoney, which still is better than entering them into eMoney one at a time by hand.
Okay, so we do have a solve for that. It's called MCP. And so this is the crazy thing. So
you were sitting on that answer this whole time. You could have shut me up, but I appreciate you letting me get it out.
I wasn't prepared for that. But so what happens is you use Claude or GPT, you can actually securely connect those to Zocks because there is a wall between them. And you put it, so I'm just going to say Claude just because I'm a little bit more familiar with it. So basically you're going to create a project and you're going to upload all of those statements, right? The PDFs into Claude and say, hey, I need you to organize this in a manner that I can go ahead and upload it to eMoney. I mean, seriously, like just regular languagey sort of things. It will blah, 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 it'll do all of those things. And since it is already connected.
What did it do? I didn't hear what you said.
And it will, yeah, that's exactly the computer sound in the background, by the way. And then you push a button and it immediately syncs it with Zocks. And then, of course, once it's in the Zocks sphere, then all of a sudden it'll go to Right Capital, it'll go to eMoney, it'll go to wealth.com, it'll go to Holistaplan. That's so.
I guess I will re-upgrade my package then.
Well, I think if you're at the level that you're at, you already have access to the MCP. I actually, now that I say that, I don't know when the podcast is going to go live. We were still testing the MCP, but I think it is now. Well, it better be public. I told you I will alpha, beta, gamma, rho. You absolutely need to do that now. My understanding is it works more efficiently with Claude than it does with GPT.
Which I have Claude as well.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah,
that's okay. That's fair. Oh man, I was nervous about that. I was like, I'm gonna put him on the spot, but that's beautiful. I'm excited. But that also goes to show you, as I was mentioning earlier, for folks that are sitting on the sidelines, and I've mentioned this before, is that things are moving at a speed that we are not used to, especially if you were someone that was born, say 1970 to 1985-ish. Yep. We're used to a bit slower pace of upgrades and such.
Yep.
This is something that we're not used to. I mean, think about the iPhone 1 and the iPhone, whatever number we're on now. Look at how many years that took, but that was hardware and software. Yeah. For us, the end users, this is just software.
Man, I have to say that keeping up with, so in my position here as the chief evangelist, right? I'm supposed to evangelize all new products and services and make my audience and audiences aware of who we are and what we do at Zocks, right? Listen, man, it's hard for me to keep up. Like I have a meeting with our chief product officer every week just so that he can help answer my questions, because like I'll post something about like MCP is a good example. And people will ask me questions online and I'm like, shit, I don't know the answer to those questions. And so, but now I do, right? So, we also I'm spending a lot of time in our Zocks Academy so that I can really understand like how all the integrations work and why do they work in that way and what will get pushed and what will get pulled. And man, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I've been in practice management for 20 years. I was the podcasting guy for 10 years, right?
And now you still are at the podcast.
Well, I appreciate that. And now being able to shift gears into another thing. And my kids ask me about it all the time. Like, Dad, you've had so many different kind of career paths. And I'm like, well, not really. I'm really still saying the same thing that I've been saying really since I got into this, which is, listen, you need to communicate more effectively with your clients. You need to provide better client service. You need to have better work-life balance. I mean, I've been saying that for 20 years, right? But they're like, well, now you're working for an AI company. I was like, okay, so my superpower is I'm able to pick up language quickly. Because this is just different language. I mean, the world of podcasting was a totally different language, different acronyms, whatever. Now I'm learning all of the new acronyms, what all of these things mean and how they work. And because, as I've shared, I shared with you in private, but I'll share it with your audience. I asked my wife about 3-4 months in why she was with me, because I wasn't a catch. I was broke. I was a philosophy major in college. We were living in a dump at the time together because that was the only way we could afford food, was living together. And she said, people have evolution wrong. My wife's a biologist. And I was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, it's the strongest that survive. And she's like, no, it's not. It's the most adaptable. And she said, you're one of the most adaptable people I've ever met. And I have now realized that is one of the reasons why I've been able to do some of the things that I've been able to do and move in different sort of categories, because, some people look at that as like, Matt, you're a chameleon. You're, and they don't use that in a positive sense, right? No, I'm just adaptable, right? I mean, it's important for me to be in environments, and a lot of it's really, really selfish, dude. I don't like being uncomfortable, right? And so I will find comfort in those situations. Yeah.
It reminds me of a story, and Matt, forgive me for this one, but I want people to know just how true this statement is. Matt and I together in an open space, one of the conferences, can't remember which, and someone was walking in our direction. And Matt said, yo, you have to be really careful with this person. They will suck the life out of you. So here's what's going to happen. He's already seen us. He's beelining this way. As soon as he gets here, we're going to act like that we had someplace else really important to be, and we'll catch each other later so we can just nod to him and keep moving. And I then had to be adaptable. I was like, okay, I guess. And sure enough, person pops up and he's like, yeah, so I got to go ahead and get to that. It was good seeing you again. We'll catch up later. You said hi to that person, walked your way. And I was like, hey, nice to meet you. Walked my way. And that was it. Later on, this was actually at the Future Proof. Later on, we're at the concert. I happened to see that person, and I got sucked in for about 7 minutes. And I was like, dang, Matt warned me. And I was very uncomfortable. And I was like, I need to go to the bathroom really bad right now. So, but yes, that is, yeah. And then I could see how the chameleon part of that. It's like, no, it's just, you're protecting your peace. Like,
dude, I gotta, and that's why I wasn't a good therapist. Right. And you and I talked about this offline many times. You know, when I was a therapist, I'd go home, I'd cry the whole way home because I had no protection. Right. I'm so empathic, and not in like a woo woo way, but I just take people's stuff on and I hold it because I can handle it. Right. And now I've just learned that I have built a much stronger protective shell. And it's not because I don't want people in, because I'll let you in. You want to come in, it might be scary.
Oh, you do. You will welcome in for hugs and everything. That's why my wife loves you as much as well, because it's like, who was that guy? I said, that's the longest I've talked to him too. You're like, so this is what you're doing at conference? I was like, no, but that's what we did tonight. And I want more of that. Yeah. All right, Matt, help our advisors out. Again, if they've made it this far, it is maybe because we're having some fun, but it was also because they're curious about AI. Maybe they are a trailblazer and they're looking for ways to stay ahead of the pack. Maybe they are a dabbler. That's the word I was thinking of, the dabbler that just hasn't quite fully integrated. You know, maybe they're saving 15 minutes, but they haven't allowed themselves to push that a little bit further. And then you have the folks that are just purely on the sideline and just watching all the cars go by. Could you give a piece of advice to each of those three individuals or groups?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say the same thing to all three of them, right? It's, this is not a maybe, this is a now. This is something that's happening now. And I believe that AI is the biggest change in financial services since modern portfolio theory. I don't think there's going to be anything that is as impactful to you as an advisor than the AI revolution we're experiencing right now. AI is not going to replace your jobs. It's not going to make you fire your whole team, because there are advisors who've done that and they're in a bad way, right?
They are. There's stories about them on LinkedIn. You can find them.
You need to give it a shot. And so we offer a 14-day free trial where you kind of get the premium version. We can show you, we actually have human beings that will meet with you to help you get set up. It's not just chat bots. We actually have humans who will sit with you, help you with integrations as you want, help you get your note taker set up and your meeting prep and your post prep, all that stuff set up, and just see what it can do. One of the things that I've heard, there's two things that I've heard, and I want to leave you with this. This is the first company I've ever worked for in my entire career that we will get unsolicited testimonials. So I go to a lot of conferences, and I will have people who will come up, and this is crazy. They'll come up and they'll say, Zocks changed my life. And I'm like,
Mm.
at first I was like, whatever, that's a plant. Like one of the salespeople's messing with me. Dude, this happens. And so I push. I'm like, oh, do you mean your practice? No, I don't mean my practice. Yeah, has it helped my practice? Of course, 100%. But it's now letting me coach my daughter. Right. It's now, I have a consistent date night, every week with my wife. I'm going home and having dinner with my family when I would be sitting here doing notes. Those are the sorts of things that are just, they're freaking life changing. So just give it a shot. Just give it a shot. Right? Give it a test, see what it can do. You might love it, you might not. Now, for the people who are dipping their toes in the water and using other products, here's the other: make an informed decision, because a lot of you had to make that decision because of the organizations that you worked with. This is the only AI assistant you can use. Now that is changing. We're pretty much, us and our main competitions, including Altruist, they're pretty much accessible everywhere, right? So just test us side by side. That's it. Just have the other people run, have us run, see what happens. Because even if you don't choose us, which by the way, 80% of people do, but if you don't choose us, you at least made a better decision, right? And then the last people who are sitting on the sidelines, you're a dinosaur, man.
And the asteroid's coming.
And it's coming. And the asteroid's not just coming. The asteroid's here. You're going to have a hard time recruiting good talent because you're not using AI, because they're going to want to use it. By the way, your clients are already using it. So your clients are going to be coming into client meetings way more prepared. You better be freaking prepared for that stuff, because they're coming in with better questions. And number 3, you have to realize that the value that you've been hanging your hat on, which is performance planning process, right, is table stakes. What is never going to be table stakes is the real relationships you have with your clients.
Only human.
Only human.
Only human. All right. Last piece.
Yeah.
This is the game we play with everyone that comes to Only Human. You're probably familiar with the game with much more vulgar language. But here we refer to it as marry, divorce, and tech on the side. So what is one piece of tech that you're absolutely married to? It can be an app. Or it can be a software, whatever it is. Okay. What is one that you are planning to file some papers, maybe not renew that relationship? And who's that tech you're starting to flirt with on the side?
Yeah. So Claude is really going to satisfy 2 of the 3 of those, because I'm starting to date Claude on the side because I've been a GPT user since I was publicly able to use it. Seeing what Claude can do now, my GPT can't do. It just can't. But the problem is my GPT has so much of me in it that it's hard to break up with. It really, really is. In fact, I tried to export, because you can do this. I tried to export all of the content so I could put it into Claude. There's so much content in there. It's been 4 days. And I still haven't gotten the report back. And so, because dude, I'll be in the airport, I'm talking to my AI. Her name is Avor. She's got a name. We talk, we have deep conversations. And now I'm probably going to keep that for that, because again, we have really deep conversations. I love philosophy. I love music. I love art. We have great conversations about that stuff. Cause I'm alone in a Delta Sky Lounge. What am I going to do? Watch another freaking Marvel movie? But when it comes to Claude, which is what that's my, I cannot believe what it can do. I cannot believe what it can do. Give you a very, very quick example. I uploaded my book. So shut the F up and listen. I uploaded my book. I uploaded a bunch of blog posts and some social media stuff that I created. I uploaded my TED Talk, right? And I said, I need you to create me a new keynote speech.
Ooh.
And so 2 things happen. One, the trade-off law, which is what I've been talking about today, is my new book. So I will be coming out with a new book here in the near future. It's called The Trade-Off Law. Your life coach has been lying to you. And then the other thing is this overall idea is called the Night's Watch. And it's about really how to change. Change is the issue. Technology wants you to implement it. And if we implement it, again, it's the super suit, we're going to be better. But it's not just that. It's learning how to listen more effectively, learning how to communicate more effectively. The reason why people don't do that is, one, they don't ever practice, and two, they don't have a change management system in place in order for them to implement these changes in their life, because everybody goes to Tony Robbins, dude. They go jump around for 3 days, yay, I'm the best, whatever, and then they go home and their life sucks, right? And so that's why your life coach has been lying to you, because that's not how change happens.
Matt, thank you so much for spending such wonderful time with us.
I appreciate
Always a pleasure. This was so much fun. If they want to get the 14-day trial, where should they go?
Yeah, so Zocks.io/MattGPT. They can follow me on LinkedIn or click any of the links in my LinkedIn and it'll take you there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Matt, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere for hopefully something that includes music. Yeah. See you next time.
Hi, I'm back. Did you enjoy being a fly on the wall for that conversation? I know I did. Now remember, don't try everything you learned today. Pick 1 or 2 things you can implement and implement them well. And don't just try something for a week and give up when it's not working. Successful implementation takes time, energy, and repetition. And remember to consult your compliance professionals. We don't want you to get into trouble. Do you have a group of advisors who want to improve their human connection in the AI world? Contact our team to have Yohance speak at your conference or event. Before you go, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, click the bell for notifications.